How did Epstein die? It's something that especially MAGA's really curious about, or more so, they have a conclusion, but they don't want to accept any evidence to the contrary about that. Epstein being the dead, but well known for his underage human trafficking. One of the most disgusting people. And the fact that he had high profile connections, Trump, Clinton, Prince, something. The fact that he had powerful friends made Bill Gates, well, he's dead now, so shut up, guy, does make the story maybe sort of, is there more to it? Could we learn more? And so the Trump administration came into power saying, we're going to reveal what the Democratic deep state has been covering up there. Even though the suicide of Epstein happened under Trump the first time, but something that really made MAGA angry, and a lot of us curious, was that after saying we're going to reveal the Epstein documents, whatever that it means or whatever that is, the Trump administration, they're going to be transparent, they're going to reveal it day one, right? Well, then they get in office and Pam Bondi doesn't really do that and reveals like a binder of nothing. And then what really set off the Alex Joneses and even Tucker Carlson and other folks was that Bongino, the deputy FBI director, and Kash Patel, the FBI director, came out and said, hey, Epstein killed himself. Like that's just what happened. And that was proof that now they're a part of the cover up, I guess, because MAGA doesn't want to accept that. We went over in a different segment, you can find it, why I actually do believe that Epstein killed himself and sort of the different components of evidence that convinced me. But now Dan Bongino in the video you're seeing on screen claims there's video that will make it clear. Not necessarily video of Epstein killing himself, but of somewhere around in there that would make it clear that indeed the official story was correct. But let's go through the context and I'll show you that clip because I think it's important if anyone missed this series of events for you to know what's going on here. So this was the clip that really made MAGA go crazy and say, the traitors are inside the house, where members of their own movement were now a part of the Epstein cover-up. If you appreciate the segment and want to support the show, please do click the subscribe button on YouTube. I checked and it was nearly 50% of our viewers are not subscribed. Oh, a dagger to the heart.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself.
You want me to get, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Yeah, so I don't believe them on anything as far as I can throw them, which is not far. I don't think I could even throw them at all, actually, now that I think about it. But I do believe them on that, given the other stuff we've already seen. I don't trust them, I should say, as far as I could throw them, but I do believe them on that, is maybe the more grammatically sound way to articulate that thought. And then, I guess, so we'll get to, like I said, the clip of Bongino saying there's a bombshell video they're going to reveal to us soon. Everything's always soon. In 2 weeks, the video's coming out on Epstein in 2 weeks, baby, along with my debut album. And here is an example, before getting to that, though, of Tucker and Sean Ryan giving you a sense of the lack of belief, even in their own MAGA leaders, that they had regarding this issue.
No matter who gets elected, the Epstein videos remain secret.
Wait, what are you talking about? I thought we could all sleep well at night now knowing that Epstein legitimately killed himself, right?
I just want to give you a couple flavors. His real laugh, his other real laugh on a soundbite, and then my imitation of his laugh, just to really send that point home in case you missed it.
Legitimately killed himself, right?
What was that?
Did that just come out?
You said Jeffrey Epstein.
And then we know the clip. He killed himself. Trust me.
You weren't convinced by that?
No.
Why?
I've dug into that, and it's just so spooky. I mean, how do you charge a guy with sex trafficking when there are no There's no end users that have been charged. Who did he traffic to?
What do you think that was?
Himself. Now, it could have been other people also, but as I referenced before, that's kind of a strange. It could be for himself, tragically. But I think we all believe someone else engaged, and if we could find evidence on those people, then lock them up, baby.
What do I think it was?
Yeah.
I think it was a blackmail operation. What do you think it was?
I think it was a blackmail operation run by the CIA and,
Of course,
the Israeli intel services. Yep. And probably others. You know, French intelligence always has a hand in everything.
I think Guatemala had something to do with it. I think Guatemala.
I've noticed probably them too. The usual darkest forces in the world colluding to make rich and powerful people obey their agenda.
Yeah. But not Tucker. No, but not Tucker. One of the most famous and wealthy and popular media pundits. He wasn't in on anything, okay? But everyone else gets controlled by the deep state. Not Tucker. Here is the clip that is really... I mean, the reason he keeps having to be asked about this is because of how angry MAGA is and saying that Bongino betrayed us and Alex Jones saying arg, and everyone's upset now with the two people that were supposed to dismantle from the inside the deep state, the FBI, CIA, right? Those sorts of institutions that they believe control everything in the world. They are under a lot of fire, and so now he's saying, I'm going to give you proof that Epstein killed himself. Does he kill himself?
Those two cases obviously are of significant public interest. I'm just telling you what we see in the file. I just want to be crystal clear on this. I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm telling you what's there and what isn't. Right. There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case, and there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay. It was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release. That's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced. Right. And we're going to give the original, so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him. Right. There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
But Tina, oh God, it's not that fun. I want to believe someone else killed him. It was so fun. I felt this little tingle on my boo-boo whenever I think that. Sometimes, guys, the conspiracy theories, they're just not true. I mean, I say again, you're not crazy if you went, was there something else because of the camera thing and the guards falling asleep thing? But it also could just be what it was, you know? Evan said, why would they tell us the camera were down? I don't believe anything. This is all getting very strange. Sounds like it's going to be AI. But then someone else said, well, there was already record of not all the cameras being out. At least one camera in the hallway outside the cell where authorities say registered sex offender Jeffrey Epstein hanged himself earlier this month had footage that is unusable, although other clearer footage was captured in the area, according to 3 people briefed on the evidence gathered earlier this month. Exactly. This is something I've mentioned before, which is you have some people said all the cameras went out. And then I would repeat back to you, I know cameras went out. I don't know if it's a camera or 2 cameras, but also it could have been out for a long time type of deal. And it wasn't that everything went down all in the whole building. So you could still prove through video evidence of the hallway that you would have to enter the cell through. No one went through during that whole period of time, right? Things like that could help to further ensure. Now, why is this such a big deal to people? Well, I guess because if you could prove that he didn't kill himself, then you would really know that someone was covering their ass. So then you would have more reason to dive into that. My gut feeling, though, is if there was, and maybe I'm a naive bastard, but my gut is if there was overwhelming evidence, now that this has spanned multiple administrations, that definitively proved a different powerful person or a different person had committed similar crimes along with Epstein, then a case would have been brought. If that's not the case, and there is a document or a video, whatever, I want that to come out and I want those people to be held fully accountable, obviously. And again, maybe I'm putting too much faith in the prosecutors, or maybe I'm not taking the deep state seriously enough, but that's my gut feeling. I'm sure they have gobs and gobs of evidence against Epstein that's now kind of irrelevant because, as Bill Gates said, he's dead. But on somebody else, it would be hard to believe that would have never come out by this point in time. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Then, speaking of things that are hidden, you also have Bongino saying, again, this comes to everything take with a grain of salt with these goobers, but that he found a room. It wasn't a secret room, but it was a room and it had stuff in it. And that stuff might surprise you.
Wait till you read the stuff that's coming out.
And this is unrelated to Epstein. This is just things.
But does he still have loyalists in the building? Because when I hear the FBI director saying, you guys are finding boxes that are hidden, okay, how does that happen in the Bureau?
Well, we were there a couple of weeks, and luckily there were a lot of people up there who grabbed us by the arm the minute we came in and said, thank you for being here. You know, we need to talk. There are people there who are really horrified at what happened. And there was a room, and we found stuff, a lot of stuff.
A hidden room.
I wouldn't call it hidden, but hidden from us at least, and not mentioned to us. And then we found stuff in there, and a lot of it's from the Comey era, and we are working our damnedest right now to declassify. And just so you know, because I get the public, I totally understand people saying, well, do it now. The process is not all the information is ours to declassify. Some is other intelligence agencies. It's not, we literally can't do it. Once that gets done and that gets out there and you read some of the stuff we found that, by the way, was not processed through the normal procedure, digitizing it, putting in FBI records. We found it in bags hiding under Jim Comey's FBI. Quickly, you're going to be stunned.
So Comey, obviously being FBI director before, in the Obama years into the Trump years, and they hated him because we also hated him. He did the whole, I'm reopening the investigation into Hillary thing, and that could have swung the election. But then he also investigated Trump and all that stuff. But if there's documents that are crazy, I love how he said, there's room. Everything's so, there was a room with boxes in it. Oh, it was a secret room? Like what? Was it behind a bookshelf? Did you have to pull out one of the books? Please tell me that's what it was. And he's like, no, it wasn't secret. It was just a closet. But we didn't know about it. And no one told us about it. It's like, when you get there, they're like, all right, there's 300 rooms in this office building. Let me tell you about each one. Like, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of rooms with random boxes. But, okay, if you find something out, something crazy about Comey, or they did something bad to Trump, reveal it. We want to see it. Yes. And then going back to Kash Patel, neither of these folks, even if I agree with like the Epstein thing, none of them give you much confidence. Like, it really makes me scared that they're heading up the FBI. Here's Kash Patel on Epstein.
Truth.
But there is a lot of conspiracy theories out there.
There are.
The Epstein thing, you dealt with Maria, you said, as far as you know, he killed himself.
I'm telling you, he killed himself.
The other thing on the
truth.
But there is.
Sorry, that was quick. Didn't realize how quick that clip was. Then more.
The other thing on the internet is the Epstein files. What's the answer to that?
The answer to that is the same as everything else. I'm not going to withhold information from the American public ever. But I'm also not going to rush to get it out there in a format in which they can't rely on it. So on the Epstein matter or any other matters, we are diligently working on that. And it takes time to go through years of investigations, years of political maneuvering, and years of cover-up to get the American people what they deserve. And that's what I'm going to give them on it.
All right, we will believe it when we see it, Mr. Kash Patel. That's where I'll leave it. Share your thoughts in the comments.